of course, you know that the caravan is on in just a few days, and we're getting all geared up and ready. Now, we're going to be traveling on this trip with a number of locally assembled vehicles. Yes, and I'm excited to have this conversation with the head of Ghana Automotive Development Center, that's Kojo Annabel, and then we also have here from the Ghana Standards Authority assuring us of all things, in fact, in terms of correctness that have been done. And this is Macmillan Prentice. He's the team lead for homologation and conformity assessment with the Ghana Standards Authority. Gentlemen, you are welcome.
Thank you.
All right. So let's get right into the conversation. Kojo, talk to us about what you've been up to in terms of assembled in Ghana vehicles. What are you doing? And then we can talk about what you're bringing on the caravan.
Okay, so since the policy was rolled out in 2019, currently we have about 6 assembly plants established.
Okay.
And
6?
they are assembling about 12 brands currently.
You've been busy.
Very busy.
Yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
very busy with very quality vehicles being assembled in the country now.
I see. Now, Macmillan, in terms of the general populace and our buying into the whole idea of assembled in Ghana vehicles and the rest. I mean, back in the day, in 60s, 70s, and so on, we were building and assembling cars here.
True.
You know, but there was a gap, a massive gap of so many years. And so people a lot of people don't even know that we did this in the past, you know, and so on. So now assuring Ghanaians that their vehicles are of top quality and all that, you have a big role to play in that. Talk to us about what you're doing on your end.
Okay. So the first thing we do is to look at what should the standards be. And just to give more or less like a crash course in standardization, the best practice is to bring together all the different stakeholders to actually make a decision. Okay. What should be our minimum requirements in Ghana, which was done back in 2019 once the Ghana Automotive Development Policy was passed. And those minimum requirements were set for certain critical components. All the lamps on the vehicle, the brakes, the seat belt, the tires. Once we had done this, then we began the enforcement in 2020 with the very first vehicles assembled by VW. And we've continued right through that with all the other models that followed, whether it was Toyota coming in, it was Honda, it was Suzuki. Everybody would then have to meet those minimum requirements. Additionally, we have ensured that for there to be fair competition, these same requirements also have to apply to vehicles also that are being imported. So just to give us a sense, if you think the one being imported is better, the same standards
will be applied
being applied to them. And it is those same standards we are applying to the ones being assembled in country. So for every single model, 32 different models being assembled under the 11 brands or 12 brands mentioned, every single one of them, have to meet those same requirements, and that's what we are
That's
ensuring.
impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive. All right, so Kojo, in terms of the fleet or the vehicles that will be part of the caravan, what are you giving us on the caravan?
So because of time constraints and the short notice in coming to this partnership, we are providing the Nissan Navara and the Toyota Hilux. And we believe that in the next Heritage Caravan, you have a lot more vehicles in the fleet.
So Nissan Navara and the Toyota Hilux. Okay, all right, okay. Now, let me ask you, back in the day, the Hilux, and maybe you can also chip in your thoughts on this. The Hilux was a very jumpy vehicle. Toyota seems to have fixed a lot of those things about it. In terms of our terrain in Ghana, these two vehicles that he's giving us, what's your perspective?
Okay, so the perspective from our side is that these have been indeed tuned to our local standards. this was one key criteria during the standards development, that we are looking at what pertains to us here in Ghana, what is good for our sub-region.
Okay.
And that has been what has been looked at in coming up with the requirements for these vehicles. And so these two are coming from two different assembly plants. So the Navara is from the Japan Motors assembly plant, and then also we have the Hilux coming from the Toyota Toshu assembly plant, designed for us. And we believe that under this new program, again, the lessons learned from enforcing standards feeds back to the original equipment manufacturers to be able to improve things for our people. In the past, even having recalls were a problem. But now, we are having the original equipment manufacturers backing these assembly plants in Ghana. So you are assured that if you should have any challenge, the equipment manufacturer is willing to come back and then fix that for you as well. And these are all the things people do not know is available. And we are using this Heritage Caravan to showcase that, look, we do have the vehicles in Ghana. The vehicles do meet standards, and they are available to you to not only see, but also purchase and use vehicles that are assembled right here in Ghana.
Wow. Now, the answer might seem obvious, Kojo, but why did you choose to participate in the Heritage Caravan expedition?
Okay. So, over the period, we did a mini exhibition some months ago, and what we realized was that the public actually did not know what was happening. And we saw the Heritage Caravan event as a big platform for us to showcase these vehicles. And for you to experience and confirm that it is reliable and it can go the distance. I think you're going about 3,000 kilometers for the event. And for these vehicles to go and come back in one state, it gives some assurance to the public. Even if there's any perception out there that the vehicle are of low quality, we have to overcome that perception, that they are of the highest quality, of the highest standards, and can really do the job for our market. And it is produced, and the word comes again, it is homologated for our market.
And we realized the theme of your Heritage Caravan focuses on Ghana, things that are made. So you talk about the food, the culture, the different aspects. Well, why not also about the industry that is being created? So we thought that the auto industry could play a key role featuring in this caravan as well.
All right, so in terms of, I mean, Macmillan mentioned about the 32 different brands that you're working on. Are there, I don't want to ask about the brands that currently exist, but are there any particular brands that you are looking forward to in the future adding to what we are working on right now, assembling in Ghana?
I think a lot of EV companies are knocking on the doors. But what we are trying to do, and we want to get it right the first time, is to make sure that we put the standards in place. That is why you don't see a lot of them. And we are in the process, we've kickstarted the process already, and we believe that by the end of the year, we should have the standards in place.
For
so you will see,
vehicles.
you see a lot of influx of EV vehicles being assembled in Ghana at the highest quality.
Wow.
At least we have 4 pending applications as we speak.
Really?
Which is separate from the current 11 brands we've spoken about, who also have EV versions as well. So aside that, you also have like separate 4 who are also knocking. But as he just mentioned, we are currently working on national standards for electric vehicles to support both the manufacturing policy from the Ministry of Trade and Industry, but also the EV policy from the Ministry of Transport. So we are trying to bridge that gap using standards to do this.
Super. No, I love it. I'm excited. So you're going to be doing things like charging stations and all those things. You're going to be,
So in fact, for the charging station standards, thanks to the Energy Commission, we've been able, together with them and our other stakeholders, we've already completed national standards for charging stations in Ghana. We know there are about 6 or so active commercial charging stations.
Oh, I see.
But as for the domestic,
already?
Yeah, but as for the domestic charging stations, there are plenty. Depending on, I mean, whoever is purchasing a vehicle, then you have a charging station at home or in your office or both. So the charging station standards are there. We are now looking at the vehicles themselves, and for all categories, from motorbikes to three-wheelers to buses, all of that, we are looking at the standards for them. But at least for the ICs, the internal combustion engine ones that we have now, people don't know. So we just want them to know that, look, the standards are there, the vehicles are there. And coming in a month's time, we will be holding another exhibition, inviting the public, both the entities as well as individuals who want to come by, see for themselves.
Fantastic. I love it. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming through. Thank you. We're looking forward to great things. And I'll be on the Caravan, so I'm looking forward to enjoying a ride in the vehicles. So thank you very much for coming through. We've been speaking with Kojo Anobil. He's the head of Ghana Automotive Development Center, as well as Macmillan Prentice. He's the team lead for homologation and conformity assessment with the Ghana Standards Authority.